Welcome to the Filmmaker Mixer Podcast, the podcast by filmmakers for filmmakers. My name is Andrew, and I'm joined alongside my co-host Jeff, as always. Jeff and I are writers and directors and passionate about the art of storytelling. Filmmaker Mixer is a creative hub where aspiring and established filmmakers come together to share experiences, insights, strategies, and inspiration.
Hello, everybody. This is the Filmmaker Mixer Podcast, and we are talking Austin Film Festival 2025, and we have the team behind Miles Away. We have writer, director, actress Jackie Quinones. I think I'm saying that right. And we have one of my favorite actors ever since The Wire. Love this guy, Andre Royo. Folks, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Great pronunciation. Great pronunciation.
Well, we have been getting a lot of requests for the podcast and a lot of movies coming in. I did watch your movie last night. I really, really enjoyed it. It's really, really smart. And I guess real quickly, Jackie, just give us the pitch for the people who are going to be coming to the festival, which is just around the corner. Give us the pitch for the film.
Sure. There's this socially awkward driver. We want to call her an Uber or Lyft driver, but a rideshare driver. And she's meeting this crazy cast of characters throughout her day and also dealing with a life that she feels like she's watching just pass her by. So, but ultimately it's a story about resilience. It's fun. It's got all kinds of emotions. It goes through its ups and downs. It's got a little dark underbelly, as you can imagine, meeting a ton of people throughout the day, driving in a city like Los Angeles. It does take place in Los Angeles. So yeah.
Well, I'm curious about something. On the show, we talk a lot about, you need to green the light yourself. You need to make projects, just go out and get them made. And so I'm curious, did you originally write this for you to star, or did you write it, for someone else and then decided to come in? Or how did it develop?
So this one I did write for myself, yes. I do write other projects that I don't ever intend to work on or be in. But this one was, I did write for myself specifically.
And how did you get this cat in the film, Andre? How did that happen?
I read a well-written script.
I put a gun to his head. No.
Had you guys worked together in the past, or did you go through a casting agent, or?
No. So Andre and I have known each other. We met through a mutual friend years ago. It's been so long, neither of us remembers exactly how that was. But I have always been such a huge fan of Andre's work. I think he's a phenomenal actor, a phenomenal human being. And I just always wanted to work with him. And I was hoping that I'd have something that he liked. And when he read it, he liked it. And I was so grateful. Not only did he read it and like it, he gave me incredible notes where I was like, I had no idea how well versed Andre is on story.
Give you notes on his part?
On the script.
Oh, nice.
On the whole script. Yeah. Because Andre used to work for the Independent Spirit Awards, and I had no idea. And when he told me that, it was actually while we were in the post-production process. And I was like, I've had you in my back pocket this whole time. I didn't know. But he was like so instrumental in the post-production process and the editing process and really refining the story. So yeah.
Well, and I'll say that I'll say I was a judge for the Spirit Awards for like about 4 years to pick the nominees and so forth. But beforehand, just working on a show like The Wire, being in New York, being a theater actor, reading plays, we're versed in story, right? We're versed in being true to the characters, being authentic to your storytelling. Don't let your truth mess up your storytelling. Like, just figure out how to get a script from A to Z. And when I met Jackie, just throughout the years of knowing Jackie, I bought her as much or more so than I bought the script as far as being involved in. Because I saw somebody who had tenacity, who had perseverance, who had resilience, and just wanted to get her story out there. And as a fellow actor, I think we're a tribe. Why would I not help that? I mean, I think it's my responsibility to help that come to fruition, right? So
exactly.
I read it. I know her. I believed in her that she can get the project from A to Z. That was one of my always go-tos whenever she was like stressed out. Like, A to Z is not easy. Don't get stuck in the F. Don't get stuck at F. Man, you gotta go all the way. Gotta go all the way. And she did it. And to watch that up close, it's a wonderful experience, and it makes me a better artist because we know that we have support in getting our dreams to come true.
Right. Well, Andre, I want to stay with you for a second. I'm always curious. what inspires people to become artists and storytellers and creators and actors. So how did that start for you? Were you interested in acting as a young kid, or how did that develop?
I mean, I was interested in goofing off. I was interested in being entertaining, right? I'm, the shortest kid in my school, or, growing up in the Bronx, there were different, tropes I had to find. I wasn't going to be the fighter. I wasn't going to be the gangster, but I could be the funny guy. I could be the funny guy. I could be the clown. And I just, I love to entertain, but as far as being an actor, it's happenstance.
Yeah.
I knew I wanted to do something. My father used to sit and watch a lot of movies, and he was one of those Cuban, Puerto Rican dads that didn't show emotion unless he was watching a movie, right? So I saw him, I saw this machine making him emote, and I was like, I want that. I want to be able to do that. I want to make people feel
Interesting.
something. But then at that point, then I'm hustling, trying to work construction. I find out about an acting school that's $30, not $1 million. And then I just followed the breadcrumbs, and the rest was history. But I've always been drawn to the medium because it felt like such a powerful medium. Like, again, it was the only thing that I saw my father show any kind of laughter or tears is watching Fred Astaire or John Wayne get shot. Like, I was like, okay, there's something to this medium, and I want to be a part of it. And that was it.
Well, we love stories because it's a way we as a culture process things. We
Yeah.
process grief, we process joy, all of these emotions. Sometimes you just want to have fun at the movies, and sometimes you want to think a little bit or feel, like you said, feel something. I want to pivot back to you, Jackie. Austin's a writers' festival, and so I'm curious when you had the idea for this story. Well, let's start here. Did you have the idea for the character first, or the rideshare angle? Was it plot first or character first?
Plot first. It was
Plot
the
first.
ride sharing first. Yeah,
Okay.
I used to be an Uber driver, so
Oh, you
I was.
did? Okay. So you were
Yeah.
drawing on. Okay. Okay. Well, so once you had this nugget that I want to tell this story, what was your process to beat it out into a full narrative?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think for me, it was really the first thing I did was kind of figure out the crazy cast of characters that I wanted to include. I did take some from real life, and kind of roll them together with others and created other ones from ideas that I had. But that was my first step, was kind of figuring out which each of the characters were going to be, and then sort of the through line that these characters were going to be working towards and teaching her or showing her throughout her day. Um, so yeah, I guess it was a little unconventional because I don't usually write like that. I usually think theme first and then sort of build around theme. But this was a little bit unconventional in that way.
And I'm curious about something. When you said you were coming up with this crazy list of characters, there's kind of a balance. There are the characters that are entertaining, but there are also the characters that are in a way telling her story that she's learning from, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
was that a conscious process, or did that just kind of come naturally because you knew the arc of the character?
I think some of it was conscious and some of it came naturally. The stuff that was more conscious, believe it or not, ended up on the cutting room floor. Some
Really?
of it, yeah, because it became a little too much. Like we wanted to leave something up to the audience to sort of decide for themselves. And I think some of it was a little overwritten, but we didn't realize that until we shot it.
Right.
Um, and those were generally the scenes where I wanted to really say something versus the ones where I just kind of let them breathe. So I learned a lot during the process of making this film.
Right. Well, Andre, I want to pivot back to you for a second. When you get a script and you're reading the script, obviously it's not just about the action and it's not just about the dialogue. You have to find that character's voice and bring your creativity and your artistry to it. Do you have a specific process for that, or is that something that just comes naturally when you're reading a script?
I mean, I would say at this time, it feels like it comes naturally, but I think it was a process of watching a lot of films, reading a lot of scripts. The first thing that comes to mind is, does it feel truthful? Right? Like, does it feel truthful, and does this person know what they want to say? Or are they just trying to grab at straws? Like you see movies that don't know what they want to be,
Right.
right? And when on paper, you can start, if I follow a story, I watch every character and make sure that they're behaving in the way that they should and not jumping the shark or they're not, a lot of writers put together a collaboration of great scenes. They don't tell story by
Right.
character first. So if I can relate to the story and it feels honest to me, then I continue reading. And then when I finish reading it, I have to feel that in some form or some way, it's elevating a story that I've already heard a billion times.
Right.
Right? So with this one, I don't think, and maybe it's because of the programming of the way I grew up, but I don't think I've heard this story told from a Latino woman's point of view. Like I
Right.
don't that to me sparked like a necessity. We need to see their representation. We need to see that their struggle is no different than any other struggle, any other color struggle, but they're going through it as well. So I felt it important for me to be involved in that from this story point of view. That made it much more of an easier read for me.
Right. And Andre, what type of characters are you typically drawn to?
I mean, all of them, all the characters. I'm drawn to them as long as if you're able to, I guess, if you're able to entertain, inspire, and educate at the same time, I'm all in because I think every character is three dimensional, right? So if you just one note, I feel a falsity in that. I feel
Right.
like okay, you're being soft or you're not being truthful. So I like that, there's no character I like more than the other. The good guy and the bad guy are the same person. I mean, that was embedded in me from The Wire.
They both
I,
they both think they're the hero.
yeah, exactly. Right. So, I just felt there was a real, especially with this film, because as artists, we've all gone through this journey of where you're going to give up, you're going to quit, you're going to continue. You got a side job that sucks, but you need it. Like we've all been through this in any business. We've all been through it. It was such an honesty about it where she wasn't trying to over dramatize. She wasn't trying to bloviate or be preachy. She was just telling you what it was, telling you how it is from her point of view. And I thought that was great. And that's hard to do as a writer because you always feel like you got to embellish, and it's a balance. But if
Right.
you got the right balance, I think you draw a lot of actors that want to be involved, whether it's a big studio or independent. I just came off of, not to get long-winded, but to give Jackie some more credit, like when I did Spectacular Now, it felt the same way. Spectacular Now was, a coming of age story that I grew up with the Breakfast Club. I grew up with Pretty in Pink. I grew up with, Fast Time and It's My High. But this one's Spectacular Now felt honest for this generation, or the
Right.
generation we were talking about. And I was like, okay, I want to be involved in this because it speaks to my daughter. Like there's an authenticity to it that I relate to and that I enjoy. So with Miles Away, I found like it was authentic to, you know, what people are going through. And back in the day, it was waiting tables. That was the actor's job.
Yep.
Now it's Uber and Lyft. Like that's the side hustle.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was just yeah. I just look for truth
Right.
first.
Well, Jackie, I'm curious about something. How do you balance directing and acting at the same time? How do you switch those hats back and forth?
Um, so definitely part of it is relying on my DP a lot. A lot of prep goes into it as well. Me and my DP would sit down and make sure that we knew exactly what we wanted to shoot and how. Obviously, things can go awry on the day of and you have to pivot. But I'm somebody that thrives in environments where I have to do so much work. I don't know why, but I do. And I'm also someone that wants so badly to get it right, and I don't know that you can get acting right. And so for
Hmm.
me, it's almost a relief to have something else to do in between takes so that I'm not overthinking things in my head and watering down a performance or overacting, and I can drop in and drop back out, and it sort of makes it, I think, for me more authentic and more honest if I'm not overthinking it.
Well, that brings me to another question. As an actress, how does acting inform you as a director?
Oh, that's a great question. Yeah, I think for me, I love actors, and I think to be, and maybe not, I don't know, but I think to be a good director, you have to love the art form. You have to love actors. And I trusted the actors to come in, and I love to collaborate. I'm a very collaborative director. And so if an actor comes in and says that something doesn't feel right or they want to change lines or what, I don't care. Make it your own. Like, let's work together. Let's play. And then if I feel like maybe you're veering a little too far one way or the other, I'll bring you back. But it's up to the actor to bring that to the table, just like it's up to the DP to bring, the right lighting. I don't tell the DP how to do their job. I don't tell the actor how to do their job. I just make sure to direct them towards where I think the scene is in the whole scheme of the film, if that makes sense.
She had a big whip. She had a big whip. She had a blowhorn. She was screaming and yelling at us again. Well, being on set, I'll tell you the funny thing when you guys were talking. When I was on set, I would say I didn't see Jackie switch any hats. They all were on top of each other. Like every hat was sitting on top of each other, and you just trust that they don't fall off, and you trust your crew. You trust that everybody's doing their job, and you just balance it, and you just release that you're doing, like, if there is no wrong way, then you just balance that you're doing it the way you want.
Yeah, I mean, there was literally a car behind us with the sound guy, and me with the walkie, and DP in the seat, and him in the back acting, and I'm actually driving the car. So all of this is happening at the same time. Yeah. It was a lot, but I don't know. I welcome that. I thrive off of that.
Yes, being an artist in the world is like the goddamn Karate Kid. You're learning how to multitask. You're learning how to multitask, and you don't even know it. You're trying to be a dreamer. You're doing these side jobs. You're trying Your life is happening, and you're trying to all balance all these things and code switch all these things while you're going forward to achieve your dream. So as a director, you're doing the same thing. You're checking the lights. You're checking this. You're trying to stay present and look out for the future at the same time. It's if you can just allow yourself with belief and trust, you can do anything, man. But it's hard. It's hard to stay in that moment of belief and trust when the whole world is telling you no or nay or you can't or it's wrong or it's too much. Like it's a pocket that when you get into, it's hard to stay there, but you never want to leave. So
right.
You did a great job.
Well said.
Well, before we wrap up, do you have the screening times handy? I know the film's coming up. I'm going to try and get the show out before the screening comes up. So when are you screening?
So we premiere on the 26th at 6:30, I believe. Oh, I forgot the time. Give me one second.
You're going to edit it. You're going to edit it.
Yeah, let's edit the score.
Oh, well, we're going to make her squirm. We're going to just keep it. Yeah. And Andre, while she's looking that up, are you going to be in town for the festival?
Yes.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, I get there on the 24th. I have this movie, and I have a short film that I acted in called Offensive Course. So I got some dudes out there for that. So it's my first time.
Oh, nice.
So I'm excited to come out there and experience the festival.
Have you been to Austin before? Or
I've been to Austin,
yeah,
I think, for South by Southwest.
Gotcha.
That's the last time I was there. Jackie was just asking me that. I don't know if I can say I was in Austin because I felt like I was in a bubble. just hanging out with the festival and the festivities, whatever you call them. I don't know outside. I don't remember.
Austin's
a good time.
Austin's a great festival. It's it's big, it's well known, but it's very intimate, and it's just like hanging out with your family and your friends. It's just really cool. You'll have a good time. And Jackie, so the screening times, what do we got?
Yes, it's so our premiere is on Sunday the 26th at 6:30 p.m. at Galaxy Theater 6, and then we have an encore on Wednesday the 29th at 4:10 p.m. at Galaxy Theater 4.
Nice. And you're going to be here, I'm sure?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I'll be at both. Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, we
have quite a lovely cast of people coming as well. So
nice.
That would be a surprise. Mm-hmm.
Boy, suddenly the things are going crazy in here. My lights are attracting all the creatures, I think. Yeah, my cat's been trying to get on the show, and it's just been, it's chaos.
Put on the EDM music like you had before and get back to rock.
Well, I will, don't hang up. I want to chat with you for a bit afterwards, but I will be at the festival. Hopefully we can meet in person.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
All right. Well, you guys travel safe, and we'll see you in a few days.
Thank you for listening to the Filmmaker Mixer podcast, a podcast created and hosted by filmmakers Jeff Stolen and Andrew Lamping, and produced by Melody Lopez.
Our theme song was composed by Stephen D. Bennett.
Make sure to follow or subscribe on whatever platform you're listening to us on, and stay tuned for future episodes.